All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Lou and Tyler. Big episode today where we were going to start off with the National Treasures discussion we kind of hinted at the last episode, or at the end of the last episode. But we're going to actually record that and drop that later on Instagram. So make sure you guys check out Card Talk Pod on IG. We will drop a little behind the scenes conversation about what is National Treasures later this week. So stay tuned for that. But want to start off by getting into the NBA. Season just ended. My man LeBron, 4th ring. And if you guys remember, Ty and Lou, a couple months ago, your boy predicted LeBron, 4th ring. Just wanted to, give myself a pat on the back for that, as Ty.
Credit to you for predicting the best player of all time to win a championship.
I mean, it's weird you guys didn't have it.
It's credit to you for that. It's called content. Credit to you for that.
I mean, Lou, your teams didn't even make the Eastern Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals.
I haven't watched a single second of basketball, so that makes sense.
You were right.
Thanks,
you were.
Hats off.
I'm not with you. It's a good job by you.
You won.
So we wanted to get into a discussion about season's over. Values are going to probably not go up anytime soon. I think that's probably a safe consensus. Yep.
And I think it's actually probably a little bit different even than years past. I mean, for me, and a big conversation, you got the president tweeting about how ratings are down. Look, even my mom, who is so sneaky sometimes about sports, but doesn't like sports. She doesn't like when there's always sports on in the house. I'm like, with my dad, we go to watch, I think, game 4. She's like, there's NBA on in October? That's weird. I was like, you know that? Like, I don't even think about that stuff. But I think generally with all the change of the patterns and what's going on, viewership definitely was down. I think interest overall down. Different product, playoffs, no fans, not as much storylines, going back home, went on the road, here, that. Interest down a little bit. Prices definitely came down. And something we were talking about in the famous pre-show live, Instagram live, that Lou and I were just doing, is the notion of things being priced in. A lot of individuals who are coming into the card game maybe don't spend too much time in terms of investing in the stock market or how pricing works. But a lot of times these moments, seminal moments, how many championships does someone have, MVPs, they start to get priced in far ahead of today. Today's price is more an indicator of tomorrow than it is of today. So LeBron at 15 before it went down to like 11 or 12 is actually like when it started to get priced in that he was probably going to win the championship. The day after winning a championship is like almost the day after Christmas. It's like, damn, like we kind of knew that was going to happen and now it's over. Although if you go to eBay, there's some good auctions closing. A couple Probsteins are at like 13.5, just under 14 right now. But I think the notion of things being priced in before they start to happen is something that needs to be addressed or talked about a little bit on here. And as we talk about basketball coming back, we're going to have this moment where people are going to forget about it. I think football is going to even ramp up more in people's minds now that there's not the mixed messaging. I think soccer is definitely going to start to heat back up as well. But the notion of basketball getting out of people's minds, I believe, is actually a very good thing, because it then gets out of everyone's mind. People aren't paying attention. If you're a smart investor, you're now like Trey Young. You're back on guys. New floor for Luka, 11, 12, 1300. And then all of a sudden, Luka, I don't know if they're going to do a summer league or something, but we talked about
mini bubble.
The Lakers make a big signing and they start 22-3 or 18-1. All of a sudden it's going to be like, LeBron MVP. Can he do it? Anthony Davis, is he the new leader of the team? Can they win the title? And that price in already begins to happen for a title that he hasn't won yet. You saw it with Kawhi. They priced the shit into him that he was going to win. And then he didn't. So what we were going to do here is talk a little bit for a second. We were each going to pick one or two guys that we think are on our radar as we're thinking no one's paying attention to basketball. It's hard to like go there because you want to be doing football, other things that are going on. My man Mike Tyson's got a little fight coming up. Nadal arguably the most dominant athlete in his arena at the French Open. Just won. But talking about basketball, let's talk about each one or two guys that we're excited for next year based on potentials that could happen.
Yeah,
Ryan.
I also want to give just one quick sidebar on that, just to put some numbers against it, because I want to keep doing that more. The bubble, the first game, the first scrimmage in the bubble, right? LeBron, so 15-7. Today,
what was the date on that first scrimmage in the bubble?
July 22nd. July 22nd, first scrimmage in the bubble, 15-7. Today, it's down 27%, one sold for 11.4. So what we're about to talk about here is preseason, off-season buys, which is what we've been saying from the beginning, is when the prices are at their lowest, where you have the opportunity to see some growth. Because if you're going to buy things in season, it's when you can get caught a little bit.
And again, this year's different than
yes, it's a very specific scenario, but this is the world we live in.
Exactly. COVID brought a lot of attention to the card market, but this is where, like right now, Tyler, I take what you said a couple weeks ago. Like, it's so true, and I didn't realize it at the time, but like when you said, yeah, Luka's not, $1,800, $2,000 anymore, but they're $1,100, and that floor is higher than it was. That's the big thing that I got from this, is that the floor is much, much higher. But like you've said, everybody's all about football now. It's all people are talking about, and everything is down. Luka's at 1,100, Zion's around 5.25. Like, a lot of things are down. The first guy that really stands out to me with the way he ended the season and his potential free agency is Devin Booker. Booker ended the season. If there would have been an MVP award for the 9 games, it would have been Devin Booker, right? Ended the season on fire. The Suns, I don't think, lost. They were like 9-0.
8-0.
8-0. They were great. To me, the first guy I'm looking at this point is got to be Devin Booker.
I love that. I really do. Wasn't where I was going. Devin Booker's, by the way, new floor, 735.
And they're about 400.
His silvers are cheaper than Luka's, by the way.
Whoa. And the pop on that is outrageous.
Pop on his base is 1,100.
What's his silver pop?
I think it's like 2.
His silver pop is 142.
Oh my
141 God. If you take into consideration that I have one and I don't plan on selling it.
And I have 2.
Okay, so
I own 2.
139 or no?
I have one as well. No, I'm kidding.
I love Devin Booker. I think it's great. Do you think he goes to New York?
No.
Fuck.
I would love to say it, but until the Knicks get a big time free agent, I'm not saying yes.
It's not going to happen.
No,
we're going to go round robin, right? So we get to take turns.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm going.
Yep, you're up.
I'm going Kevin Durant. 100%. Everyone's been talking about it. It's going to reach a crescendo here as they come back. If Brooklyn can stay healthy with those top 2, with Steve Nash, with a vet minimum guy they're going to bring in, with their bench who've been playing like starters for the last year and a half, like they're going to have a bench mob full of starters.
Yeah.
And like real contributors. So they're going to be a really good team. I know the paper bait, the rookie card, the white one is, I think, below 1,000 now. The chromes are like, I don't know what the number on the chrome is, but I'm sure it's lower than it should be. So KD will be my number 1 pick.
3,500, pop 886 on a chrome. Yeah. And the paper, pop 2666.
2660.
Now, yeah, $900.
Yeah, he's just too good, and like they're going to be too good, barring something crazy. All the energy I think is going to be on them next year.
Yep. For me, it is honestly, I'll probably go.
You can't say MPJ.
No, I won't. I won't say MPJ. Don't worry, I won't say MPJ.
You better not say Tyler Herro either.
No, I won't. And I want to walk back a little bit just for everyone. Like we've started to ride this wave of like me like taking jabs at Tyler Herro. Look, he's a really, really, really good basketball player, but I just, I don't see him being in this league of Devin Booker or Kevin Durant. Like, there's a lot that has to happen for that to be the case.
Fair assumption.
I'm gonna take my man Jamal Murray. I mean, I think he proved that he is, for a guy, correct me if I'm wrong, that has not played in an All-Star game yet.
No.
Correct.
He proved that he is a elite scorer, elite leader of an offense in this league, and that team is coming back ready to go. We'll see what happens with Jeremy Grant, but that team is coming back ready to go. Here's the data on his card. It's a 2016 Prism. The pop is $299 is what I'm seeing right now, and the value is $399.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray as a potential starting guard in the All-Star game is the guy I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm. Ryan?
Yeah, so I was double checking. Jamal Murray has definitely not been an all-star. There's two of them that stand out to me. The first one for very similar reasons with like what Lou said about KD is Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
You haven't heard about him. The Warriors were terrible. They're going to get a number 1 pick. They're going to have Draymond, Clay, and Steph. I don't like the Warriors, but they're
And
going to be
Wiggins, right?
good. And Wiggins, they traded, and they're going to have the number 2 pick in the draft, or they're going to trade that for an asset or acquire Giannis. I mean, whatever they're going to do, they're going to be good. So
and there's something to be about Curry that we haven't talked about with LeBron. Curry really has now taken about 18 months off of high octane competitive basketball. And what that does for your body and your game is serious. LeBron didn't play in last year's playoffs for the first time in 10 years. And he looks younger.
Didn't play until June,
Yeah.
July, and he went to 9 straight finals.
There was a low key conversation happening over the weekend about LeBron, the classic MJ LeBron thing, like who's better, But like the thing that MJ had was those 2 breaks. LeBron didn't get a break ever until last year. Last year,
he didn't get a day off.
He's been to what, than anyone.
10 finals in 11 years.
It's out of control. He plays 100 games a year for a decade.
52 of the last 57. It might have been 51. 51 of the last 57 NBA final games.
Yeah, like it's bananas. It's bananas what LeBron's done, and that's 100% right about Steph.
So yeah, Todd Curry's definitely near the top of my list. But the one thing I've been thinking a lot about recently is 2020/2021 rookies. And here's why. There was no March Madness. So most of the guys we would have seen blow up and have big tournaments and be like, wow, I can't wait to see them. We didn't get that. So there's not as many college basketball fans. So it's like not as many guys are going to know who some of the guys are. When this stuff comes out now, right around the time of the draft, NFL's still going to be hot. Again, the basketball timeline's messed up. I just think there has a lot of potential in guys that are going to go into next season. So Obi Toppin, Anthony Edwards from Georgia, right? There's going to be a good amount of basketball product, and I think it's going to remain under the radar as people are still going to be like, hey, I want Zion, I want Luka, I want LeBron, I want those guys, or I want Joe Burrow and Tua and Justin Herbert. I think some of that early basketball stuff could really sneak in there if you know who you're looking for or you want to take a shot on a guy, right? Like if Obi Toppin ends up in Chicago or Golden State, I mean, he's a local kid. He's from Dayton. So, there's a lot I like about that class because it's so under the radar.
Yeah, I think there's a weird thing. The other side of that coin is that it could get very reactionary, which is something to keep an eye on. But 100%, I think you're right about that. Like, that's how narratives get formed. Like, the reason Joe Burrow was the number 1 pick was because LSU was really good. He had a really good college playoff and won the national championship and was the number 1 pick. That wouldn't have happened. He was a 4th-round guy otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, he arguably had the greatest season for any college football player of all time.
Sure.
Yeah. But there's think about like Trey Lance, that guy's playing 1 game this year or whatever. Like,
is that the North Dakota State guy?
Yeah, and already opted out. Already gone.
Yeah. Did he just get one on tape and was like, I'm out?
They had 1 non-conference game.
Didn't they shut it down?
The game get canceled.
I thought the conference shut down.
Yeah, the conference was shut down. They had 1 non-conference game on the schedule. He played it, and that's it.
And
that's a good job by their athletic department for the branding. Before we go off basketball, off of this whole thing.
Can I get one more in here? What's going on?
Sure. Oh, were we doing a double round?
You said 2 guys.
Yeah, 2 guys.
I thought we were 2-ing it up.
Ty, it was your thing.
I didn't know we were going. And then
it's a little round robin, so Ryan couldn't take the 2 best guys.
Robin. Got it.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. My other one's going to be Trey Young.
I like it.
the Luka versus Trey thing will continue to happen. Atlanta's going to get a lot better next year. And I'm going to harp on the silvers again. A Trey Young silver is $1,600 and a Luka silver is $6,000. Just putting that out there.
Say that.
Population.
Run that back one more time.
6,000 for Trey and $6,000 for Luka.
No, other way around. $6,000 for Luka, $1,600 for Trey.
That's what I said.
I thought you said $6,000 for Trey and
No,
$600
$6,000
and
for
six.
Luka.
Sorry, whatever. The point is $1,600 for Trey, $6,000 for Luka.
And that's a fall from Luka. I mean, I don't know what Trey was at. I didn't
it's a
follow
fall
that.
for both of them. Luka got up to 10. Luka touched 10. So it's just something to keep an eye on. The silvers is obviously a higher investment price and everything, but it's got my attention, and I wanted to just put that out there for everyone.
Okay. I have one, and then I have a topic that we need to touch on before we go. And my one is Lonzo Ball. I think Lonzo Ball has now been in the league, got drafted 2017. He's going to go into his 4th year. Young dude. That Pelicans team is going to be playing on prime time a lot. Just switched over to Clutch Sports in this offseason.
Is that true?
Yep.
Interesting.
Lonzo just signed with Clutch. That the branding in that family. His brother's coming in the league. Don't let it randomly his brother end up on the Pelicans by just some way of LeVar. And I think he's got game. And so I think Lonzo Ball is someone that you should really, really, really keep an eye on. And then before we depart, before we go to the next topic and switch it up to a little pokey, all of this is just making me think about Zion. And obviously Trey and Luka were a big precursor to the ultimate Zion hype. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about the bubble and we talk about not playing for a long time and health and hopefully the system that he's built around him, even me just bringing this up is making me think about the hype that is going to be around this guy. And he's got a real chance on opening night of coming out and dropping 32 or something like that with some high-flying slams and just setting the Zion world ablaze again. Would love to hear your thoughts. I've historically been like, I think Zion has 3-4 years in the league because I think his body's going to break down and he'll start having foot, knee, the whole thing. But hopefully, things have gotten better in terms of his rehab, physical stuff we've learned because he is a ticking hype bomb.
And to Tyler, you're 100% right, but you just said, I think this, I think that. I mean, it's just all ifs, right? Like Zion, COVID shut down the league for 2 months. Mm-hmm. And he comes back and he's on a minutes restriction because he's tired. How bad do you want to be great? You had 2 months to get in shape and get your ass ready for basketball, and
it's a little Embiid-ish.
Exactly. It just doesn't seem like he cares. He has all the
potential.
You come back and you're on a minute restrictions at 19 because you're out of shape.
Yeah,
that's got to be. That's got to be a care thing.
I think there's the hype machine for sure, but I think people are going to be more aware because it really showed itself.
It shows how hard it is to be great, especially at a young age when you get a lot of money and a lot of hype around you and realize that, again, this is back to the LeBron. I mean, it's every day. It's how much are you drinking water? How many meals?
LeBron puts $1 million a year into his body.
You need that team around you to help you understand how to be that great. But
100%.
Zion didn't Zion show that shoe deal? He could afford $1 million in, a trainer.
You got to be shown. But if Zion has it opening 10 games, like we know it's possible,
sure, huge.
That will be huge for every other card in the hobby.
I guess my question is, would you guys rather buy a Zion 10 or a Trey 10? Because those are very similar in price.
Trey, personally keep Trey because you're not
No,
but going into next year,
successful is better for Trey than Trey being successful is for Zion.
Probably. Yeah,
Lou and Ty, let's say Zion comes out in the first week and drops 50 and 10 one game. 50 points. I'm talking
like it.
Crazy.
Yeah. You remember
does he get
right before COVID when he was hitting the Jimmy?
Do his 10s pass Luka?
Yo, have you looked at the pop report on him recently?
Zion?
Yeah.
It's got to be out of control.
He has 12,000 10s already.
Does it pass Luka if he puts up 50 and 10?
Possibly.
Dollars?
Yeah. Does what I'm
Yeah,
asking is
100%.
does Zion have more
100%.
market potential than Luka?
No.
I don't know. I feel like
It
Luka's
seems
gone
like
there.
it does.
Luka's could be a global superstar.
Oh, absolutely. Luka's a star for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not. It just
Luka's like generational guy. It's
Zion was
different.
watched in 8th grade just like LeBron. It just seems like if Zion is LeBron Jr., his market potential is so much bigger than Luka's just because of like the hype. People want him to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Luka
said this
will
1,000
be good.
times. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. The 2019 variations, prisms are a big deal. The ball in hand for Zion, the Herro one, ball behind the back, all the like Ja has one as well. Like those variations are the real deal. I'm a big fan of those. Anyway.
All right. Yeah. Just gonna slot this comment in. I'd like someone to tweet me their thoughts. Ty Schmidt 5 on Twitter. Bubba Wallace has 2 NASCAR Prism rookies, and I'm kind of upset about it because I wanted to invest. I wanted to make some plays. I wanted to add to my personal collection, but he's got 2016 Darrell Wallace, and that with no rookie stamp, and then he's got a 2018 Prism with a rookie stamp, and I'd just love to know what everyone else thinks about that. Now we're gonna switch gears.
NASCAR radio. Tweet Tyler. I know you're listening, Val.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. I just don't know which one to get. We're going to switch it over to something we've talked about a lot on this show and has now reached peak madness level, potentially not yet peak madness level, but we're in some sort of hysteria around Pokemon cards. And what I would specifically say is the OG original 1999 game, first edition, shadowless, first edition and shadowless, graded Pokemon cards and opening packs. Friday night, well, I guess we can rewind back a little bit. We had Leon on the show. One of the biggest content creators in the space, big opening packs. We had Jeremy Padower come on the show, talk about he bought the first edition set for $125, I believe, Lou.
I thought it was 110.
130.
Okay. 110, 125, 130. One of those numbers. One of us are right. Potentially not any of us. Rally Road did a IPO at 125. Theirs was at 125. My boy bought 2%. I think I got like 5 shares of it or something like that. Then we started to see some Charizard records get going. Logan Paul comes in, gets into it. Big is buying. Then he buys the unopened box. Friday night, he had one of the cooler content moments I've enjoyed. I thought it was amazing. I thought his team pulled it off incredibly well. I thought he did some great partnerships, raised money. I mean, the whole thing I think was great. I think everyone that was involved, we via Gary 1:37 p.m. bought a pack, pulled a whole lot of nothing. But
yeah, we got.
But Hypersteria has hit like 10,000 times 2, and then immediately following or just before, Logic bought a PSA 10 Charizard for over 200, and things are just getting crazy. And so we just wanted to do a little recap and convo and talk about it and address some of the pricing that's going on right now and really speak, I think, directly to if all of a sudden it's hitting you and you see the craziness that's going on, you're looking to get into it, talking to those individuals to educate a bit. First, go back and watch our Leon Hart, go back and watch our Jeremy Padower to get educated, but then also understand that quickly this is becoming, depending who you're talking to and dealing with, people are trying to make money. And so just because, Pokemon seems very friendly and cute and cool and like something friends do. But remember when the older dude, when you used to come with the pack that your mom just bought and you got a random holo and then all of a sudden you did a trade and the homie
and you
hit
got
you with
smoked
like
on your
2
trade.
Growlithes for like a holo and then you went home and then your mom's like, and then you were crying in your bedroom and all of a sudden your mom's on the phone with the neighbor being like, yo, your son just beat my son and I'm not happy about it. And I'm going to come over there and get my son's cards back. Like It's going on right now.
Sounds like a very personal story.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have it.
Tyler, are you traumatized?
I think a lot of people have it. Let's be real. Shout out to moms for doing the fucking groundwork. Yeah, with everything that's happening, all the craziness, double check, hit up different people to gut check prices, know what is going on, and then also that random pack of cards that's under your bed in a binder, like just because they're there doesn't mean they're worth $10,000. But if you're willing to put in the work and sell a couple of them, they're going to be worth something right now because the demand is out of control. Lou, I'd like some of your thoughts, and then we can get into a little bit of a banter conversation. Just wanted to open it that way.
Yep. I stewed on it a lot this weekend because the event was the Logan thing was so awesome.
Lou,
And
you said it was so awesome. Just want to clarify. I heard there was 250,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, he
like the
peaked. I think he
entire time.
peaked around 400,000 live viewers.
That's
There was like 4 million.
Crazy.
It was insane. Brian, quite frankly, it was the biggest break in the history of cards.
It was out of control.
It was the biggest break ever.
That's crazy.
Think about that. Like, think about when you get like 1,000 people in a live, you're like, holy shit.
I got to 200 and I'm like, dude, this is
What the
crazy.
fuck
This is
Lord,
great.
It floored at like 214K, and that
That
was
like 3 hours
5
in.
minutes after the Charizard got pulled. Like Charizard, and then it floored at 213. I mean, it was real. And
yeah, it was a
which is
huge
leading
event.
to a lot of demand, which is amazing and good. And back to what Chris said, like, let's have fun with it and enjoy it all together.
Yeah. So it was an awesome event. Logan did an awesome job. I think, as someone who is a little bit on the inside, taking a look at what's going on within the community, like it got clouded a little bit by some ridiculous pricing that was mentioned throughout the evening. My two main takeaways were like what Tyler, the two main takeaways were number one to me is educate yourself. Just because you hear something on a live with someone that you like, a content creator that you like, because you hear a number, that doesn't mean that's the number. You please educate yourself. Please go on eBay. Please go on Instagram and hit up one of the gazillion collectors who will have a lot of information for you. They will be able to help you the most. And the second part of that is a raw card isn't a PSA 10, and speaking on a raw card as a PSA 10, speaking on a raw card with a pricing attached that's a PSA 10 pricing is not helpful for anyone. And third of all, the back half of that is after the event happens, since Logan is so big and has such an influence on the community and the content creators and all creators basically, that led to a lot of other YouTubers posting a lot of vlogs with their Pokemon cards, being like doing the YouTube thing where you need to make an engaging title, an enticing thumbnail, and people saying things like raw jungle unlimited set cards are $500 when they're $5 cards, and like stuff like that just doesn't, it's not helpful for anyone. It takes the fun out of it for everyone. It misleads viewers, and it's just a net loss for everyone involved. And that was the part that bothered me. So the main thing I want to get at is make sure you're educating yourself, make sure you're having fun with what you're doing, and don't just listen to a content creator or an influencer because they tell you what the price of something is.
And I think this is so important, Ty and Lou, because this message, we've had this conversation before when COVID spiked everything up, right? Like this is about education, right? If you come into this and you're like, hey, I love Pokemon. This guy said this card's $30,000 and it's 3,600. You're not like, educate yourself, right? This is a lot of money. There's a lot of attention around it. The big thing we can preach on this is education, right? Most of it's free.
Yeah. And look, I want to counter a little bit of the energy of like, I want to make money too. Like I
want to do it properly.
Yes, I get totally. What I think is the real punchline is like someone said something about like influencers. I've been thinking about this a lot as TikTok. TikTokers are now doing podcasts and they're becoming the number one podcasts, and influencers are here to stay. And let's stop calling them like influencers, like it's a word. Your TV commercial that made you buy Bounty paper towel is an influencer. It's no different. Like,
Yeah, the bounty man is an influencer.
like, you know,
Real
all
talk.
of this stuff. This is real. So, like, this isn't a new phenomenon, and let's not shit on influencers for like pushing things or making content and all that. It's just, if you are going to invest in something, if you're going to put your money into something, know why you're doing it. There's a lot of walking around right now, especially in Pokemon. We've even been here and saying it's the best investment. It's the safest investment. It's going to, you're not going to see cliffs. Pikachu can't tear an ACL. Jason, we need a shirt that says Pikachu can't tear an ACL. Actually, I think that would be fit. Yeah, I think we should sell them.
A neon yellow shirt.
I think we need to.
No, we got to do like Charizard though. It's like red.
Yeah, we should.
Charizard
We got to do
Charizard's
Charizard.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Charizard can't tear an ACL. It needs to be a T-shirt.
That is kind of heat.
Yeah,
I'm rocking it for sure.
Got it. So back to my point is just, if there's one thing we try to do on this show, is get people in a way that they're not going to come in, buy one thing, and then just stare at the price fall every single day.
Yeah, be upset they got in and be like, hey man, this is who would want to be in this hobby? I'm getting hosed.
Yep. And I'll say this, that the prices on at least the hollows are ripping so high right now that the expectation is that at some point they will come back down a bit. That's
Like
not to say, again, they won't floor and go back up. But if you are in the business of buying a graded Pokemon holographic card right now, you got to have the stomach. We've talked about the stomach. Be ready to stomach 15% down and hold for 3 years. Give that to me. Otherwise, like, put your money elsewhere.
And don't, like, the Pokemon thing's tough because everyone had one and everyone thinks the ones that they have are the cool ones. And like I'm sure the three of us have talked to someone who's been like, yo, I have the Charmander and it's an unlimited Charmander. And it's kind of shitty when you're talking to your friends and you're like, nah, bro, that's like not the good one. It sucks, but it's like, that's a real thing. Like, people are like going through their binders and like, I have $5,000 worth of Charmander. It's like, no, you have $50 worth of Charmander. So like,
and you also don't have 50 PSA 10 Charmanders.
You don't. Yeah,
That's a big thing.
You have one PSA 6. You have one that has a slice down the middle because it was near your bike one time, and like for real.
No, but seriously, like, as someone that owns a retail store, a sports card retail store, I see it on the daily. Like, hey man, I got this nice 1989 Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck. The left corner's missing and the holographic on the back that needed to be perfect to be a 10. It's not even there. Like, hey, this is a PSA 10 and it's a couple $1,000s when raw it's like $40. That's a big misconception that not every card we have is going to 10.
Yeah, there's a big knowledge gap in grading, and we've tried to address it here, and I'm sure we will continue to every time. But like, it's just part of the thing that people need to learn, and that
takes time.
There's even levels to 10s. There's even levels to 10s.
Old label 10s, new label 10s. It's a big thing.
On this note, there is a auction, because I just got the eBay notification, that old 15-minute out notification, which is a glorious notification. 92 bids, $11,000 on a starter set, Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, PSA 10 first edition. Squirtle's the only new label.
Yeah, I have some personal interest in how that one pans out. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I have posted a trio for sale, and
you're just gonna follow the pricing.
Huh?
Yeah, you're gonna base it off that. And
I have someone in my DMs who wants to buy it, and I'm like,
make a play.
It's one of these things. We'll talk about it later. It's one of these things that makes no sense to me. I need to like figure it out.
I'm just excited that we're going to start slanging shirts that say Charizard can't tear an ACL.
You think I'm not walking around the National with a shirt that says Charizard can't tear an ACL and just annoying everyone all weekend long?
ASAP.
I'm in on that.
Let's go.
We're gonna have a big banner above our table that says Charizard can't tear his ACL.
So good.
All right, so now we want to go ahead and get into Stump the Shop. Stump the Shop is brought to you by eBay. And for those that are new here, Lou and Tyler are teaming up to try to stump the shop. That's myself. Each team is given $1,000, and they're going to try to grow that over the course of a few weeks by buying and flipping cards on eBay. The team that winds up with the most money at the end will win. Now, let's see if Tyler and Lou can stump the shop. So, fellas, I'm not gonna lie, I made some sales, and they were big. There were some big sales this weekend.
Tell me more.
So I had to pull this up because I had my calculations handy. And back, I told you guys before on the show that I bought the Hunter Renfro gold vinyl that was misspelled on a Friday night auction a couple months ago, where it was like spelled wrong, and it was like I paid $45.98. Had it up on eBay for like $250 or $299. Didn't really get many offers on it, so I was like, the price I bought it at was too cheap. Might as well auction it. So I auctioned it, and it ended this past Sunday, so a few days ago, and it went for $172.50, which means after shipping and fees, I cleared $150.01 on it, so roughly $104 profit on that. Not bad, not great. Expected to do a little better, but still feel pretty good about that.
But just fine.
But that wasn't the big play of the weekend.
Just fine.
Back on August 19th, I got off Lou and I, or all three of us had recorded Car Talk and decided we were talking about Tyler Herro. We were talking about players under 25 to invest in. Who would I pick?
Him.
I was like, Tyler Herro, right? He's, for the price, I like Luka better long-term by a mile, but for the price, Luka's were $2,000, right? They're not $2,000 anymore. Tyler Herro's were $200. I'm like, I'm going to put some money into Tyler Herro. So I went out and bought a Chinese New Year Revolution Auto at a 14. It was from China.
For how much?
$224.99. That card.
I have questions about the budget here, but let's keep going.
It's $1,000.
Okay.
Okay. It sold basically a week ago. It sold on eBay for $601.23.
Okay.
So after fees, I got $521.03. So net $1 shy of $300. So on the two, I made, it was like $405 and change on those two cards.
We're gonna have to do some real research into your budgets and where you actually have came down.
All these documents are accessible to both of you, as well
I'm
as
looking
else.
forward to going through those documents. I have real concerns about how you've been.
Love it.
Why are you
Love
crushing
it.
me with this Tyler Herro? Every episode, something about this guy. That's a good job, and I commend you a little bit.
I don't.
I do a hair, but I want to talk about DK Metcalf's performance.
Hell of a buy.
On Sunday night.
Animal.
For just a moment. That guy is special.
Good. Real good.
That guy is really good.
And do you remember when he came out and everybody said his cone drill was slower than Tom Brady's? And like, this dude's not really good.
Yep.
Dude was massive. You're like, not really. This dude's.
Monster.
I probably even said something like that.
Monster. So the card came in. We got that. The Optic 9 Hollow. And then over the weekend, I made a couple different purchases. And we went back to the footy train. And I picked up it's the first Tops Now that I've purchased, actually. And it was a Jude Bellingham Tops Now with the RC stamp on it. It's a player for Dortmund. He just got named Rookie of the Month in the Bundesliga. And Dortmund just produces studs. They were going, I believe I got them for 10 a pop. Picked up 3 of those bad boys. And then I picked up an Ansu Fati PSA 9.
Contenders?
No, I didn't go contenders. I got the not the mega cracks either. It's like I'm gonna botch it. Colecciones. Collection in Spanish. The Barcelona collection. Let me see if I can show you the card. Let me see if I can do this here.
I have a mystery purchase I haven't told anyone about.
It's this bad boy.
Interesting.
So again, back to just my theory on all things soccer. The way that I view soccer, the way that I think about soccer, 2 seminal moments. They typically happen on even years. World Cup, Euro Cup. They're now happening in the next 2 summers. Actually, not the next 2 summers. That's a lie because the World Cup's in December. I believe it's in Qatar. So you're going to have summer and then like 16 months later. This kid is 17 years old. He starts now for both Barcelona and is a mainstay on the Spanish squad. And he is going to, that Spain team is going to be good in both of those major tournaments. He's going to get a lot of airtime. And by the time it wraps up, he's going to be younger than Mbappe currently is for both. There's a chance they win one of those things. And those pops are low on his cards currently. I'd imagine there's a lot getting graded. But the dude's a player. So pay attention.
Tyler spent $300 on that. I just want to be clear.
No,
Matt,
I didn't.
Can we get someone to run their numbers? I want to make sure they're not spending money they don't have.
Comment and then
it's called. You gotta. First off, you gotta.
Classic Ryan move.
You gotta. First off, you gotta grind.
Let's
offers.
talk about auditing.
You gotta grind off.
Garbage.
I mean, outrageous. Do they even have this money? Are you guys getting extra money? What? Good night.
It's crazy how you just like took my thing and then like switched it back on us to try to get the
Wait,
energy off of you when it's.
You mean you don't like it when people do that?
And everyone knows what your budget is, and it's gonna come out.
Yeah,
that's
you're
all there is
just
to it.
working your shop.
You know when you sell cards and you buy cards for 500 and you sell them for 700, that means you have more money to spend.
That you bought them.
Yeah, it's kind of like buying it for 225 and selling it for 700. It's a lot like that.
It was 601.23.
Okay, and selling it for 601. Cool.
Was I not allowed to sell it?
A lot like that.
Nope.
I'm confused where the problem is with selling it for 600.
There's no problem. What?
Then what's the issue?
There's no issue. You're just being weird right now.
Let's
Next.
Okay. My purchase was a 1996 Cardos Blastoise PSA 8. It is a red prism. I will get you the population report. Let's keep in mind here that I have Ryan smiling to the camera, much like he smiled to the camera when I purchased a PSA 9. What was that? I bought Bulbasaur, a PSA 9 Bulbasaur.
Yeah. And then
So
doing the leaf.
He did with the smile. He did.
He did it again, and it was a mistake last time, and I think it's going to be a mistake again.
Oh no, I think it's a great buy. You talked about it. You've been talking about it for a while.
Cardos?
I would rather bought that than whatever the hell Tyler just told us he bought, for sure.
Yeah, Ansu Fati.
Tyler's talking about a 26-week challenge. Talk about dudes playing 18 years from now, and Lou's talking about things we're gonna flip in 5 weeks. I'm on the Lou train a little bit more on this. Ty, you're gonna have to maybe pick up. I support
everything Tyler does, and what you're doing right now is trying to separate us as a team, and it won't work.
I see right through your
garbage. It's rubbish. It's not true.
Do you guys even talk about this stuff, or
we talk every minute of every day? We're best friends.
Listen, card collector 1. That's enough out of you over there. Right?
Whoa,
low blow. All right, so sorry. Back to my card. The Venusaur Prism, PSA 8. It's a pop 19. There's 100 and what's 88 plus 30? 118. There's 118 cards graded higher than it total, and it's a prism.
Venusaur.
Venusaur.
I said Blastoise.
Did I say Blastoise? Sorry, I meant Venusaur.
Wow, doesn't even know what he bought.
Yeah, I'm a disaster. I'm a mess. Let's just call it what it is. But 118 cards graded higher than it in total. These cards, we're going to get into it a little bit more in the future, but the Cardos came out of vending machines in the 90s in Japan, so I'm a big fan of those. Got it for $100 even.
I like it. That's my partner. That's my partner.
I was like, yeah, not bad. That's the first time I've heard about this.
It's my partner.
We make a great team.
It's my partner.
All right. So, Lou, maybe you guys could next week maybe get some calculations on how much money you guys actually have left before you continue to spend some more of it. I would, love to know. I love it. I think everybody in the audience would love to know. So,
you know what, Ryan? You just keep
because we're halfway through this challenge.
You just keep managing the shop. We'll keep stumping it.
Yeah, focus on Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Hey, I made good money on Garrett Cole. I don't know why you're razzing on Garrett Cole. I made money on Garrett Cole. That's the goal of this whole thing.
The guy ruined the Yankees franchise.
That's not my fault.
Aaron Boone's coming back next year, by the way. I know you guys don't care, but that boggles my mind.
I'm excited about it.
All right, so that is all we have for Stump the Shop this week. Again, Stump the Shop is brought to you by eBay, your number one stop for buying and selling trading cards and memorabilia. So last segment this week, fellas, is new releases. So a lot of different stuff come out this week. I know Prism Racing is one of them, as we talked about that last week. Apparently it got moved last minute. So that was not intentional, but that'll be out this week. Then you've also got some other stuff. You've got Spectra Football. That'll be a really, really popular release. Gold Label Baseball. You've got Lumber Kings Hockey. And then you've got the Decision 2020, which is political trading cards. So a bunch of different stuff coming out this week.
There's sneaky autos in there.
What'd you say?
There's autographs in there, right?
Yeah, there's cut autographs of Trump, Biden.
I do love me some political presidential autographs. So it has my attention.
Interesting. All right, so it says, looks like Spectra, they priced, looks like we had some prices here. Spectra's around $750 a box. Decision 2020 is around $130 a box. Leaf Lumber Kings is around $178 a box. Prism Racing is around $120 a box. And then Topps Gold Label is around $100 a box. So a couple different releases. Yeah, I mean, Spectra will be really cool. We've talked about this before. It's probably one of the higher end mid-level products, borderline high end, but it's probably a nicer mid-end product. That'll be pretty popular. A lot of like cool, flashy designs in that. That'll be pretty popular. Yeah, a lot of different color. So, Ty, Lou, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I love Pokemon.
Yeah, this was enjoyable. I felt the extra day. We're recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah, Tyler texted me on Sunday like I need a card talk. It was crazy.
I needed it bad.
Yeah.
I just needed it bad. But shout out Matt, shout out Jason, our two producers, grinders. Jason brings a lot of the content that you see on Card Talk Pod, and we're pushing him to ramp up more, so we'll be getting that going. We also have a Charizard Canteran ACLT in the works.
I need that shirt.
Pre-orders coming soon. Matt, we appreciate you.
Behind the scenes content coming soon. Again, National Treasures. So stay tuned for that. We'll drop that on Instagram this week. Again, at Card Talk Pod. But that's all we got for now, guys.